Let's see. Let's take a look. I'm gonna skim through this pretty quick. Okay. So IEM was poo. What went wrong? Disunited. So like, okay, we had issues that we didn't solve before the event. It started after the break, and in Cologne, all of those small issues. Ooh. So basically, they had some problems right after the break. Feels like they maybe just like can't find their game a little bit after the break. You said that you're having issues regarding the game and relations between the players. For me, the great factor is as captain could put the team in a lighter vibe so the players would be relaxed. I was thinking more about the game, not the atmosphere. That's interesting. I mean, I imagine them going out last is gonna like only amplify those feelings. I just like, man, that's got to be so weird. Like, I don't know the players, but outside looking in, I actually don't. Maybe it's just like overall frustrate, like tilt not at each other. They don't seem like they tilt at each other at all. Like Zontic seems to himself. Magus is just happy-go-lucky. Like Shiro and Donk just seem very like Shiro, I feel like beats himself up a lot. I don't really know how Donk is. So I wonder if this is less of like them being upset with the call. Like I just feel like maybe they really like beat the shit out of themselves when they don't do well. And maybe Chopper Destroy. Like that's how I kind of maybe am taking this. I kind of don't see a world where like Shiro or Donk are like mad at Zontix or some shit or Magic. I don't know. I have a hard time picturing that. I find it way more likely that like they're doing poorly and Shiro and Donk like are probably shutting down a little bit. That's kind of how I read this, but I could be completely wrong. This is purely me just guessing. You lost the Mongols and G2 and IEM, which loss was harder. Both losses are hard to take. I'd say the second one was more of a knockout for us. In the first game, we were at least playing, even though we had difficulties. But in the second game, we didn't even join the server as a team. So okay. Those are the worst feelings. Like you just don't even feel like you got like in the game. You lost the G2 Cologne and at the World Cup. How do you explain losing them twice? Is there a stronger or is it their stronger new roster, or was it about your form? I think there were several different factors for a side and say they have a strong roster for sure. And they have a light mood, no problem. Yeah, honeymoon basically is what he's saying. They're still not winning events. Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, Loki Chopper actually. Yeah. Are G2 going to necessarily win events? No. But do Malbs and like specifically Malbs in that team just makes them hit way harder inside the server? Yeah. And that's more so the big change. But I don't know if that's enough for them to win events. In Cologne, we didn't even start playing from map 1. In Riyadh, you can break down the game and talk about runs and mechanical mistakes. If you watch the Cologne game, there's nothing to analyze. Spirit was absent from the server. Let's see. After the win in Katowice and overall, considering the high ceiling that the team has shown, can you often hear people talk about changes in the roster to put? Are any changes possible, or do you rule out such a possibility? I think changes in Spirit are unlikely. Both before and after Shanghai, you always need to give an adequate look. We are a very young very young team, the backbone of the team. My view is the IGL op and the star player, and the core has been playing together for only half a year. It's only, yeah, I mean, they really have done a lot in such a small amount of time. When you consider people were not talking about Spirit. When Shiro went to Spirit, we all kind of were like, partly not because we thought Spirit was bad, but also that Cloud9 roster was weird as fuck. So it was kind of a combination of the two. I think that break really seems to have hurt them a bit. We have a tough period right now. Regained form. We had issues with the atmosphere within the team, but I think the proper work from everyone. So he's optimistic about the future. Feels like the team will be able to figure out what's going on. Do I understand it right that you look at your performance as a glass half full, not half empty, in a sense that you're happy with how you? I mean, if you didn't, that'd be a problem. Yeah. Let's see. So good question, because of what happened in Cologne. So we had wrong expectations of ourselves. I don't know about the guys and can't speak for them, but I had expectations that we're a super team and we won 2 events. We're tier 1, tier S, and we need to reach the semis at minimum. Believe those thoughts of mine hurt the team. I'm supposed to have an understanding that we're a young, yeah, that could happen. You see what you're capable of, and then you expect that level of success all the time. But also, you know, especially like when you consider how new Donk is to everything. Donk is still hitting really hard, but there's going to be a fluctuation in form. And I would say Shiro's biggest fault as a player is he very much beats himself up way too much, like way too much. So we need to, but also like when you have the level, the ceiling that they have, it's a dangerous trap, right? Because you know what you're capable of, but also at the same time, those expectations, if they become what you expect at all times, even though it's came quickly, it could be tough to maintain. Donk showing Katowice was not his last performance. It will show an even better one. We have the best sniper and 2 great anchors. If we're not in form at the moment, we just need to step up and believe in each other, and everything will be all well, because we'll spend a lot of time with each other and we'll have an impact. Presume Hallie has a significant weight in these conversations you mentioned, but who else is involved? Actually, a lot of people work with our team. Our psychologist and our manager can always share their opinion. Our CEO also works with us. That's kind of cool to help us sometimes. That's kind of neat. I don't know who the Spirit CEO is. I don't know if I've ever seen them. I feel like I've probably seen them on stream and don't recognize them as the CEO. Visa issues, travel. That's good. Sounds like they're really happy with the org based on that. Sounds like they got a lot of good staff around them. And speaking of Hallie, can you tell us why he was absent during Blast? He had an illness, why he couldn't attend, but during Blast he tried to help. He stayed in touch, but after that he got better and came to work with us at Cologne. Let's see. You received an IEM Rio, but decided to skip the event. Can you tell us the decision? We have people who are responsible for all of our travel. These are not very involved in this, but the guys said that we would have a lot of events and they didn't want us to get burnt. So it wasn't even really the player's choice. The organization seemed to be the one pushing for that. So they had World Cup, week off, Blast groups, Cologne. Then we're doing Bet Boom. Straight after that, we're going to EPL, a week off. And then we might have playoffs depending on our results. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good, to be honest. I think that's actually a really smart choice because where that Rio, not major events place, it's kind of weird. That's actually, I'm expressing my opinion. I'm sure that not, but I think it makes sense if we don't get too exhausted and burned out. Yeah. Oh, they didn't have the keyboard still after. Okay, we were just snap tap, blah, blah, blah. Didn't affect us. We didn't have it. Tried it, and I did like it, but it doesn't make a lot of difference for us. We didn't get used to it a lot, but I personally enjoyed it a lot. That is kind of interesting. It felt, I think this is actually the biggest thing that people enjoyed about it is it just made the movement feel more responsive in the actual game. But yeah, dude, Chopper is so incredibly based. Basically, he's just saying who cares? They'll get used to it. Also, Valve just needs to draw a line in the sand about how it's done. I just want stability so we as players know. Yeah, no, I like this. I like this out of Chopper a lot. Homie just wants a consistent fucking game. All right, so last question. Last time you lost to Mouse. This time you and them are the main favorites. What do you expect from this event? I just don't expect anything from this event. The most important thing, join the server and enjoy playing with each other, no matter the preparation opponent. Yeah, it sounds like their team vibes are just off, which is really hard to fix. So hopefully they go in with low expectations and just start enjoying playing, and then they figure it out from there.